when somebody introduces you and you don't recognise yourself. It's very tricky. I'm a simple boy from Manchester and feeling particularly good today after United's victory over Barcelona last night, which I'm sure you all stayed up till 1:30 as I did to watch. So it's a good day. It's a good day today for me. So I don't want to spend too much time here because a lot of words have been used today. In short, I think the Paris Agreement indicated really that we should be getting our emissions down by about 43% by 2030. 2030 is not far away, is it? I mean, really, we can almost touch it now. And I'm not confident that our politicians and bureaucrats are going to get us through this. I'm really not. And it seems to me that therefore we all have to do something to try to make a journey, move the dial, as people have been talking about today. And I'm not an expert in sustainability and carbon and stuff like that. But what I do know, I know a lot about changing behaviour, and I know a lot about the workplace. And of course, during the pandemic, we all suddenly burst into working from home. And we all got used to it, we had an experience, it wasn't brilliant for some people, for others it was. But what it did, it opened our eyes and it equipped us to work in a much more digital fashion. It opened our eyes to different ways of living and working and stuff. And it seems to me that we can take forward some of these experiences as we go in this world that we're now describing as the hybrid working world. And that's a term I think that's been used extensively, and many people, I think when they use it, don't really understand what it means. For me, what it means is a spectrum of different ways of working that may exist even within a team. But the issue is, the question associated with it isn't about how many days should we come to an office. That's really not the question. The question is, how do we make our people more effective? And how can we make teams more effective by using this new tool and these new technologies? And that is, I think, where we're kind of getting to. Now, you as a nation, have an opportunity here to break the mold, I think. You don't have to grow your economy in the same way that many other developing countries have. And I think hybrid working could possibly play a part in your growth, because what we know from our research, I think we mentioned the AWA Hybrid Working Index before, which was a study that we did about 4 months ago. And what it told us was, this involved 62 companies around the world, 220 buildings, about 250,000 people's worth of space. And what we asked those companies was, tell us how many people are in your offices on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of a particular week. And tell us how many people are usually using this office, what base there, how many desks do you have? And we did the analysis on this, and can you guess what the percentage attendance in offices across that whole population was? Any ideas? 30%? Say again? It was India, some countries in Europe, US, and UK, and even South America actually. 20%. Do I hear more than 20%? Somebody said 30. Do I hear 40? I didn't realise this was going to be an auction, did I? Well, the answer to the question was actually, the average was 29% across the whole of the population. And in India, you were sitting about 32%. And of course, Mondays and Fridays are pretty dead, but Wednesdays there's a peak at 40%. Now this tells me, I did statistics as my first degree, so this has been really helpful, because what this tells me is you've got twice as much space as you actually need at the moment, most companies have. So it occurs to me that if you're going to grow your organisations and your headcount and stuff, one of the smart things to do would be, first of all, to use the space that is empty. And by using the space in a different way, working in a different way within your offices when people are in, it seems to me you could actually minimise the amount of space that you actually need to grow into. So I think you're at a crossroads. You can either grow by building 40 million square feet of office space every year, or for the next few years, I did that without moving, it's fantastic. Certainly for the next few years, you could grow into the space that you've actually got. So that's a kind of an open question for you, and I know many of you are running businesses, and you have opportunities to break the mold. So I just want to leave that there. What I would say is operating a business which is based around a hybrid working model isn't actually that easy. We've done quite a lot of research around the factors that make a difference to the performance of knowledge-based teams when they're working in a hybrid model. And I'm going to share with you 6 factors, and if anybody's vaguely interested in this, what we can do is send you a copy of the report. There are 6 factors. The first factor is social cohesion. Social cohesion being friendships, relationships, people getting on together. And the reason why it's important is people can challenge each other in comfort and work on innovative strategies and just support each other. Now, of course, this is kind of important that we generate this kind of social cohesion. But in most organisations pre-pandemic, we never even really thought about that technology. It was nice to have, but we didn't see it as a management task to create social cohesion. And I think, one of the things I think we recognise now is that when we're working away, we have to work even harder at that. So, social cohesion is number 1. Perceived supervisory support, having a leader that I work for who is supportive and is helping me to be effective in what I do, very important. Third one, information sharing. So the culture of information sharing, the culture of openness and technology to support that. The fourth factor, vision and goal clarity, which means that everybody on the team knows what the team goals are, how it links to the vision, and how that is going to help the organisation achieve its goal. Fifth one is what the Americans call external outreach, and this is basically taking your ideas and your knowledge outside of your normal domain and having them exposed to people so that you don't become complacent and you innovate and you bring your ideas back in, and it keeps knowledge fresh. And I consider it to be an antidote to organisational arrogance. And then the final one, of course, is trust. And trust underpins all of these things. Now, all of these 6 factors, they're all important regardless of where you work. But the ones that come under pressure when we're working away, particularly, are trust and information sharing. So when your leaders are managing teams that are working in a hybrid working world, these are the factors they have to focus their energy on. And this is the kind of, we're using this research as a sort of a North Star for any organisation that is seeking to work in a hybrid model. And so I thought I'd throw that on the table because I know many of you are in influential positions, and were I to be in your position, I would be using that kind of research to run the business, because I know a lot of senior leaders have struggled with this a little bit. Now, the final point I want to make is, if we're going to make this 2030 target real, we're going to have to do something fairly quickly, which is going to require us, this isn't going to be incremental change. We have to do things which are dramatically different. And I think we're going to have to develop the world's biggest change management program, which means that we have to give everybody the opportunity to not just be aware of the issues, but actually do something to make a change. Really do something to make a change. And I think this is one of the things that, this is in our sweet spot. So the final thing I want to just say, and I'd like to invite my colleagues at AWA to come and join me on the stage, is that we are launching AWA India. We have some clients here, but we've decided that this is a good place for us to plant our pole in the ground, and because we believe that workplace change is an important part of making this change to carbon working. So I'd like to introduce Shash, who you know, who to be honest has done the most amazing job here. I'll tell you a story in a minute. Arthur, and Lisa Whiteley has come from the States. And of course, this is just the sort of tip of the iceberg of our team. We have, around the world, we have a network of around about 50 associates, experts in their field, and we take our own medicine, we use our own technology to bring other people to the table, and we operate very often cross-functional teams across the world. So this is the AWA team, and this is our formal moment of launch. So please give us a clap. Now I want to tell you a little story about this man. Arthur said to me, listen, we're thinking of doing this conclave. And I thought, okay, that sounds interesting. Well, I've never heard of a conclave. What is a conclave? So I looked up a conclave, and I looked it up on the internet. And do you know what it is? Do you know what a conclave is? And this is particularly germane to this community. A conclave is a secretive meeting of cardinals. So yeah, I'm assuming that you all put the cloak of the cardinal on. The other part of the story is, Shashin and I had a conversation, I think it must have been in December, and Shash says, I'm going to do this conclave thing, and I'm going to do it in February. I said, you must be joking. You're never going to do that. You've got Christmas in the way, it's never going to work. Forget it. We've run a thing in the UK which is very similar to this called Workplace Week. And I can tell you when we're planning it, it takes 6 months to get it together and make it work. And I take my hat off to it. If I had a hat, I'd take it off. Because today we had a fantastic crowd, an incredible program, and an amazing quality of people coming through the door who are really keen to, move the dial. And I absolutely, I'm in awe. I think what you've done is fantastic. So I think players, and of course the thing is, of course, one man can't do this on his own. He's brought loads of people together to do this, and it takes a special person to do that, it seems to me. Somebody who's trusted and loved, and somebody who can bring things together. And we need more Shashs, actually, as we go forward. So on that note, I shall go and have something to eat, but lovely to see you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.